right. All right. It looks like everything's up. We're live. Welcome. Welcome. Going to be streaming a 5-room dungeon creation today. The other day I saw that there was something called Dungeon Jam 2025 going on YouTube. Really impressed by what I saw. Liking the idea of just, hey, let's make a dungeon, everybody. I didn't really see any rules or any way to join or anything like that. So this is just me making a 5-room dungeon live here on stream. A couple of streams ago, I talked about thoughts about how to make a good 5-room dungeon and kind of my thoughts on where it's strong, where it's not strong, and ways to improve it. And I'm going to try and put those thoughts into practice and see what we come up with. Oh, hold on. Okay. Yep. So, as always, I have put some thought into this. I've given this the working name, the Electrum Vault, and I've put the link in the description to this stream. So, welcome to follow along. Take this dungeon, use it for yourself. That's what it's for. If it works as is, I'm happy for you to use it. If it inspires you to make your own, if you want to make changes to it, be my guest. This is meant for you guys. Feel free to take it and use it however you want. I've given this the name, the Electrum Vault, and I always like to start out any creation project by defining a palette. So this is a 5-room dungeon. That means it doesn't necessarily mean that we're restricted to 5 rooms. It's more correct to say that we have 5 scenes, and probably those are going to be in 5 rooms, but they don't have to be. So, 5-scene dungeon. Let me list out what those are in a second, but first I need to define the palette. Anytime I get stuck, I need inspiration, I need an idea, I'll go back to the palette here. Pick something from there. This is permission for my future self to use these elements so that I don't get stuck. So I'm going to put Electrum Technology here because what I'm envisioning is a ancient vault has just been unearthed. Let me write this down. Ancient vault from a previous civilization has just been unearthed due to a natural is disaster the right word? Disaster or other unforeseen or consequences or this ancient vault has been unearthed. There's a reason for it. It's natural disaster is perfectly fine. There could be something else at play. That's also fine. Thing else has caused it to be unearthed. This vault is from a civilization. The civilization that this vault is from was known to be a magically advanced society that heavily used Electrum. Why Electrum? Because Electrum is fun. That's why. And thus, we have a palette. We've got Electrum Technology. We've got advanced magic technology. I like the idea of this being old and not future-proofed. So something going haywire. What's the mechanics? Haywire. Materials? Haywire magic? And I like to have 4 or 5 things. So one more thing that we can always draw upon if we need to. Let me think. I'm so prepared. I'm thinking that this vault is going to be something that was once a military, like armory kind of vault. So cool magic weapons. So I've got magic in 3 of these and then electrum. So I think there's a theme here. And that works. Cool magic weapon traps. All right. We've got a working palette. We've got a theme. This is an ancient vault from a magic civilization. A lost magic civilization. Lost magic civilization. The vault is an armory. Was an armory. And is to be plundered. Has yet to be plundered. There we go. That's a theme. Now, let's get into the dungeon. 5 rooms. Room 1. This is how I understand it, not how the original is. Because I don't remember. Room 1. Entrance. Introduction. Guardian. Room 2. Puzzle. Being chill. That chill introduction. No. Puzzle. What is it? Role-playing challenge? That's what it is. Role-playing challenge. Room 3. Fight or trap. Room 4. Setback. Room 5. Boss fight. And then the invisible room 6 is the reward. I'm gonna just write aftermath. And I'm doing it this way because the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to have a key mechanic, an electrum key, and this is going to be present in all 5 rooms. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I previously talked about this topic, I talked about how it would be nice if there was a joining mechanic that kind of tied all the rooms together to make them feel less like, here's room 1, whatever happens in room 1 does not affect room 2. Here's room 2, whatever happens in room 2 does not affect room 3. I would prefer if things were a little more cohesive than that, and this is my attempt to make that so. And so I'm going to say that this vault is locked by arcane mechanism that need a charged electrum key to unlock. The charge is spent to unlock a door. So prologue. Party has been hired by some archaeologists to plunder. I shouldn't say plunder, to delve into this vault and retrieve any retrieve and inventory anything of historical value. The vault is locked and has repelled most attempts to break in by bandits and other such folk. The archaeologist? Cool. Have provided the party with a satchel containing an accurate of an Electrum key. Along with 2 elemental crystals that can be used to charge the key. The key has a bunch of wires wrapped around it, and is attached to a crystal chamber where a elemental crystal can be inserted to use the key. Cool, that's a lot of words. But basically, you've got this key, but it doesn't work on its own. You need to insert either a blue or a purple crystal, and once you insert the crystal, it drains or once you use the key with the crystal in it, it drains the crystal, and we will make it so that you have to either recharge the crystal in these rooms or figure out another way to progress. So every room will be locked. Every room will be locked with either a blue or a purple key. A lock. Every room requires either a blue crystal charge or a purple crystal charge to open it. Cool. Let's get in. We'll come back to that. Let's think about the rooms first. Room 1 is just the entrance. That is basically room 1, descriptive text. The descriptive text needs to include, this is box text. This text needs to include basic description of the vault, description of damage done by bandits and rivals attempting to break in, and the keyhole for the key to be used in. This entire room is just meant to introduce the party to the idea of the dungeon. Here's a key. You have a key. Here's a keyhole. You cannot play in this dungeon until you prove that you understand how that works. So you have to open this door with this key. And I assume that will take 60 seconds at most for a party, but it might not. People might get confused. And this is the room to make sure that people are properly informed. But in addition, we want to have a fight. And we don't want to just have a fight like outside waiting for the party, because that's distracting. And I want the very first thing that the party to do is to confirm that they understand that the key unlocks the door, which is, don't take that for granted. So what will happen is once the door is open, and it occurs to me that I haven't actually set my level thoughts for this. So I'm going to say this is for 3 to 5 players from levels 1 to 4. Five level 4 players, let's say. So once the door is open, a gelatinous cube rushes forward and attacks the party. I believe a gelatinous cube is CR2. I could go get my book and check. I don't think it's in the basic rules. I have the basic rules right here, but I don't believe gelatinous cube. There it is, actually, just kidding. Let's see. That's right, because the SRD is out. The basic rules got updated and a bunch of creatures got added to it. Very good. Okay, I don't know why that I don't know why that was stuck like that. A gelatinous cube is CR2. Yes. Perfect. Do I need to make this zoom? Probably. It's fine. We'll grab the stats for that. We'll link to the stats for that. Link. Insert link. What happened? What are all these? Okay. Thank you. Cool, I know how to spell gelatinous. Gelatinous cube rushes forward and attacks the party. It was resting against the door. And anyone standing next to it will be within range, next to the door, will be within range of the gelatinous cube as it spills out. So just to make sure we've got the scene set, party approaches this vault. This is our time to sort of get people in character. We describe the exterior. We describe all the damage that's been done to the exterior. There's blast marks, there's gouges, someone tried to use a pickaxe, there's scattered pickaxe remains everywhere. There's residue from gunpowder and someone has driven a lot of nails into the walls and tried to rip the walls out and it failed because these walls are sturdy. There's also a keyhole. And we don't need to say anything about the keyhole. The party, I haven't explicitly said this yet, but the party has a satchel. It contains an electrum key with a bunch of wires coming out of it, and they contain a blue crystal that is charged and a purple crystal that is charged. And there's a crystal receptacle attached to the key. And the idea is that without us telling them, without us telling the party, hey, here's how you get past this keyhole, we're going to hope that what the party does is they take the electrum key, they stick it in the keyhole, and then they put either a blue crystal or a purple crystal. And if they do that, then the door opens, and anyone who's standing next to the door immediately gets attacked by a gelatinous cube. Gelatinous cube's not meant to be a hard fight. I don't think it is. Let me just hold on. So if this thing were to automatically go first, which it's not, but if it were, it would do 3d6 acid damage. But everyone who's standing in the way of it gets a dexterity saving throw. See the ooze cube trait. Oh, okay. So the gelatinous cube moves forward into your space. You have to make a dex save. If you pass, you get to move out of the way and you take half of this damage, which shouldn't kill a player. Shouldn't kill a character either. This should be safe. We want this to be annoying, but we don't want this to be where the party dies. So even if the party is level 1, this should be a winnable fight. As soon as the party figures out what's going on. Gelatinous cube fight. Once the gelatinous cube is dead, the party can proceed to room 2. Room 2. This is where we start introducing more complexity about this key mechanic. We also can inject a puzzle or a role-playing challenge. The party just had a fight, so we don't want to drop another fight directly into their lap, because that's building tension, and we want the tension to go up in waves. We don't want it to just constant ramp up, because I don't want the party to get numb. So, room 2. I think what I had for this one was introducing the idea of recharging a crystal, or oh no, I remember. What I had for this was the gelatinous cube is not just an empty cube. The gelatinous cube contains a multitude of bones, a couple of it would digest wood, but it wouldn't digest metal, I believe. So it can contain swords, sword blades, a couple of sword blades. Now let's just say a couple of swords, and an electrum key, an ancient electrum key. So the party has 2 keys now. One of them they need to equip with the crystal, but this is where I was going to introduce the idea of you have to use a specific crystal to unlock a keyhole. The door here to room 3 is locked. There is a purple keyhole, with a purple border painted around it. There's also other things going on in this room. What was it? Shoot. I had a lot of brainstorming yesterday on this topic, and then didn't write any of it down. Well, I remember room 3, I remember room 4, and I kind of remember room 5, but for some reason I don't remember room 2. Shoot. Okay. Going back to my previous thoughts on this subject, this is the moment where room 1 is the tutorial. Room 1, level 1, room 1. That's the introduction to the game. You don't want to challenge people yet. Room 2, you still are introducing the game, so you don't want to drop like a big honking challenge on them. You don't want to drop the puzzle. You want to carry forth the ideas that you've built from room 1, build upon them. So we've got the idea that you've got the, oh, I remember now. Okay, let me finish my thought. So you've got the idea from room 1 is that you have a key, you put it in the keyhole, you charge the key, and that opens the door. So we need to do that. We need to build upon that. So what I remember now, this keyhole is broken. There is a panel above the keyhole with a series of gears, electrum gears, that are covered in scorch marks. If the party tries to activate the keyhole, which they're supposed to, one of the gears will spin violently. I shouldn't say violently, that implies the wrong thing. The gears will spin in a very energetically. Enough to remove fingers if the party is careless. But the spinning gear will not spin all of the other gears. Party needs to replace this gear. Replace the missing electrum gear. Okay. And what I was thinking was, this isn't a particularly complicated puzzle, but there is a I should describe the room. This is a relatively square room. It was once a guard post. So there's it's not a pillar in the middle of the room. There's like there's a small room in the center of this room, but it's not a room. How do I describe this? There's a booth in the center of the room. That is locked. The booth, I shouldn't say locked. That is sealed off. There are electrum bars that serve as, what's it called? When you're like, they're bars that you speak through and you can like reach through and hand things over. You can like, the idea is that there's a guard behind the bars and you can talk to them and give them your credentials and they can take them, and they're relatively, the booth has electrum bars that a guard that would ostensibly protect a guard. I should call this a guard booth. Quartermaster? I don't think that's what it's called. Currently. But allow them to talk to people passing through. The gear for the keyhole is in this booth. How does the party get a gear out of a locked booth? Well, I don't need to come up with solutions. That's the party's job. But could you use a grappling hook and a rope, maybe? Could use mage hand. Don't necessarily have to use this gear of this electrum gear to repair the keyhole. We can say that the satchel that the players are provided with has some spare gears in there, and it's just a tinker's check to use those gears. If you somehow get this gear, no check. You just put it in, it works, everything's good. Keyhole works, you can put your key in, it'll drain the purple crystal, and the door to room 3 will open. But here's the thing. What if the party has already drained their purple crystal? Because I haven't actually written that here, but that's the idea. Is they open the door, they expose, or they open the door, they have to spend one of their crystals. They have a blue and a purple. If they use their blue, that's fine, they still have their purple. But if they use their purple, they don't have one anymore. So how do they get through? And there were two thoughts that I had on this particular thing. One is just make this a blue keyhole. I feel like that's a solution. The other one was to have a bunch of light sources in this room. Several illumination light sources on the walls in this room that glow with a purple light. If investigated, that's too many eyes. Party can determine that they are connected to a conduit that is providing them fuel from somewhere, and that fuel is being burned to make the lights glow. If the purple crystal is brought near this fuel being burnt, it will begin to glow again. And how do I express that in a less blunt way? I need to think about that, but that is the idea. So, cooking this up to make it look better. That's going to be essential. But room 1, you put a key in, you fight a gelatinous cube, you moved on to room 2. Room 2, there's the keyhole, but it's broken. You have to fix it. Fixing it requires getting this cog or doing a tinker check. Either one is fine with me. And you also may need to recharge your purple crystal. And if you want to do that, there are purple lights in this room. And the idea is that the party hopefully drawn to the purple lights. And if they're not, I don't know. That's a problem. Can the party get stuck being like, how do we recharge our thing? There's nothing here. There's no clues. Nothing. We got nothing. Maybe the DM has to give a hint at that point, and we'll think that maybe the DM also write some hints the DM should give in case the party gets stuck. The idea is the party's supposed to be able to figure this out, but this is not the room that I want the party to get stuck in. Room 3 and beyond, the party can get stuck. Don't mind if that happens. But room 2, we're still teaching. We're still introducing mechanics, and the idea of recharging the crystal is something that I'm hoping gets taught. Room 3. What did we say about room 3? Before I go into room 3, I need to write box text for this. So box text. The box text must include the purple keyhole and its broken components, the booth in the middle of the room, the purple lights that are barely out of reach. Cool. Room 3. This is a room where we're putting a challenge of some kind. A fight or a trap. This is the room 2 was nice and leisurely and it was on the party's time. They can do whatever they want. Room 3, we're rolling initiative. Now what I had in mind for this room was that once the party enters, they are greeted by a statue that begins talking to them. It says, with a magic mouth, "Stop, intruders. Do not. This is your only warning. Do not enter. If you are not an intruder, contact your commanding officer. And do not enter under penalty of death." Something like that. This warns the party. Bad. If you come in, we're going to shoot you. Once the party does enter, because of course they're going to enter, they're not going to be like, "Well, I guess the adventure's over. We're intruders. We can't proceed." Once they do enter, 2 autoballistas pop up and start shooting at the party. To do stats for these autoballistas. They're stationary. One of them is blue and shoots lightning. One of them is purple and shoots fire. I should actually write that down. One of them is purple and shoots fire. They prioritize targets that are holding charged crystals that match their color. So whoever has the key and the blue and purple crystal is going to get shot at by these autoballistas. Yeah. I also had a thought that I don't think I want to do, but I'm going to write it down and put it on offer. Perhaps taking lightning damage causes the blue crystal to lose its charge, and taking fire damage causes the purple crystal to lose its charge. Maybe. That might be irritating. That might be pointless. But I put it down. So, this is a fight. You fight 2 autoballistas here. Not a hard fight. Annoying, perhaps. Possibly gonna take someone down. This fight is meant to be annoying. Possibly take someone down. It's not meant to be unbeatable. What else is going on in this room? To the side of the room is an office. Are several offices. 2 of the offices are not noteworthy. But the third one is a maintenance. I shouldn't say maintenance. This is a what's the word? The person in charge of maintaining all of the magic in this vault. The wizard's office. A wizard's office. I don't know. This is a maintenance office. Magic maintenance office. And there are 2 things of note that I want to note here. One, there is, more than 2 things. There are a number of dead Electrum keys here. I'm going to say like dozen. A recharging pedestal that can recharge a blue or purple crystal. It's meant to recharge a key, but there's no way for the party to know that. There is also a window here to a room with a bunch of gears and a magic circle engraved on the ground that is empty. The circle is broken by a big gouge in the floor. So that's going to need to be described. And then lastly, we got to leave this room. To open the door to room 4, there are 2 keyholes. A blue and a purple one. Both must be engaged simultaneously. What was I gonna say about this? They're not broken. Oh, I remember the conflict. The auto ballistas self-repair after 1 minute. And the recharging pedestal takes a minute. Cool. That's the entire room. You've got 2 auto ballistas, 1 shoots lightning, 1 shoots fire. You've got 2 keyholes, a blue and a purple. The thing is, the party only has 1 key that's set up to receive a crystal. So the party needs to take another key and copy the setup that they have for the first key. And we need to include text about that. Can jury rig? Is it jury or Jerry? No, I think it's jury rig. Key to accept a crystal by using Tinker tools. This process takes 1 minute. Cool. That's all that needs to be said. We've got 2 people need to turn the keys at the same time. Need to make a key to make that possible. We've got both crystals need to be charged, and because the auto ballistas self-repair, we're going to be fighting them multiple times, or the party needs to figure out a way to take them out permanently, perhaps by I don't know, disassembling them. So I need to be able to include mechanics for like the party needs to disassemble to disable them long term. Otherwise, the party's going to be fighting them a lot, because room 3, you need to recharge at least one of your crystals, possibly both crystals. And then room 4, you're going to need to do that again, because the crystals, there's going to be keyholes in room 4, and I'm not putting any way to recharge in room 4, so you're going to have to come back to room 3. And hey, what do you know? The auto ballistas in room 3 are still here. They will self-repair and fight again. Room 4. Before I go on, box text must include none of this, but it does need to include a statue, a talking Electrum statue, 2 auto ballistas, Mounted on the walls. The offices on the side of this room. To the side of this room. The pair of keyholes. That is the way. Room 4. This is not meant to be a fight. This is meant to be the calm before the storm. So we can focus specifically on making this key mechanic the key mechanic for room 4. So we've got a setback. And what that setback is, both key. There's two keyholes. There's a blue and a purple keyhole. There's a blue and a purple keyhole here. They're both disabled. The panels above them are missing cogs. Additionally, there are conduits here in the walls. One blue, one purple. Conduits are broken and need to be repaired by the party. Before the keyholes work. How do we make that interesting? I guess it's not a matter of how do we make that interesting. How do we dress this up descriptively? Because based on what we've established with the auto ballistas, the blue conduits are transferring lightning, electricity. So the party already has wires. We've already demonstrated that. The keys are wrapped up in wires. So we just need to be able to describe the room in such a way that the party goes, oh, we'll just use our wires to fix the blue conduit. And the purple conduit, we've established in room 2 and in room 3 that those contain fuel. And how we fix that is a matter of just getting more conduit and taping it together, I guess. I don't know how we establish that. Tape is something that we could put in this room 3 office. We can put a barrel of spare purple conduit. And that's it. That's really it. Okay. The blue conduits transmits electricity, lightning. This is fantasy world. Electricity is not a thing. It's lightning. Transmits lightning across them and can be repaired with a conductive wire. Party has. Purple conduit transmits fuel and can be repaired with I could say the mending spell too. Mending with spare purple. That's not how you spell spare. Conduit and the mending spell or duct tape. What's duct tape? What's the fantasy equivalent of duct tape? Glue? Rubber? And sealant. I'm just going to put sealant. Or the mending spell. Or party can do lightning and fire damage to the keyholes and short circuit this whole affair. i.e. from the autoballistas. Keyhole, the blue keyhole needs lightning. Purple keyhole needs fire. If you just provide the lightning and the fire, that's it. We've already established that from previous, from room 2, that would work. So you could do that. I don't particularly know how you would do that, and that's not my problem to figure out. That's the party's problem to figure out. All I need to do is put a descriptive wording here, and move on. I'm going to put, okay, in room 3, I'm going to put a barrel of purple conduit. Where's the office? Barrel containing a multitude, coils of purple conduit, flexible purple conduit. And let's say clay. Soft clay, malleable, soft malleable clay. And what else? Oh, a bunch of electrum gears. Another barrel containing a bunch of electrum gears. So, yeah. Party has all the tools somewhere that they need to fix these keyholes. They should have all the tools. They should have everything. So we don't need to think much harder than this. We put the problem there and we let the party solve it. Box text needs to include okay, there's 2 keyholes. Blue and purple. There are conduits to these keyholes. That are broken. Both missing columns. I think that's it. There's got to be something else in this room because that's not enough for a good box text. So let's just put a random statue of like some guardian beast. For flavor. Room 5. This is the boss fight. What is the boss fight? I don't know. I actually don't know. I did not plan that far ahead. We're going to increase your stat blocks. Okay, something for a party from levels 1 to 4. An earth elemental. That would be a boss. We could make it an electrum elemental. I don't know why that's happening. That shouldn't happen. Also, I don't... Stop it. No, I don't want... I did not want to look at the exhaustion condition. Thank you very much. This is CR. What CR is this? 5. It's a bit high. I don't really like having just one enemy in a boss fight. I really like having a boss and then a bunch of minions to sort of like make it so that you can't just focus solely on the boss. And if you are unable to focus solely on the boss because you're out of like cool spells for the day. You can still contribute by shooting the little munchkin that's chewing on the fighter's ankles or something. I mean, we could go with Earth Elemental and just tone it down. We could say this is an Earth Elemental, but it only has half the amount of hit points. Or man, there's a lot of options. Jeez. Phase spider? We could have a phase spider and a bunch of little spiders. No, that's not a good. A troll. No, never trolls. A mimic? That's not really a boss. That's the problem. Oh man, okay. Whenever I'm stumped, I go back to my palette. We've got Electrum Technology. Okay, so that's not helpful. we could do a cool magic trap. We could pick something that's CR4. These aren't sorted by CR, so that's not helpful. But we can pick something that's in that ballpark. Hellhound? We can amp it up to CR4 and we can make it a like automaton. An Electrum automaton. Okay, CR3, that's in the ballpark. Oh, you know what? You know what? We've got this mechanic where we have purple is fire and blue is lightning. So we could have this boss it's a fire boss and a lightning boss, and it switches modes. And we could base it on the Hellhound. So we could give it 2 health bars. One of the health bars is in fire mode, and one of the health bars is in lightning mode. And that's not very, I don't know. I don't know how the party would interact with that. That's just a cool thing, but there's no interaction, so I don't particularly. Trying to think. I'm thinking. My gears are turning, and I'm thinking about turning this boss into a puzzle, and I don't feel like that's the right call. What might be the right call is doing that thing that I said, where there's a Hellhound and it has 2 modes, Hellhound and a Lightning Hound, and then maybe in this room there are various gizmos that can be charged with a crystal, and if you use the crystal and it's not matched to the boss, then it does like 25 damage to it or something. It does a lot of damage to it. So like, let me start writing that down. All right. Okay, there's a boss. This is a boss room. This is a boss room. The boss. A mechanical automaton with the stats of let's say a mechanical 4-legged automaton that comes to life. Attacks the party. It has 2 HP bars. And can swap between them a bonus action while using the first HP bar. Or while using the first HP bar, but before, let me get back to this, because or when a HP bar automatically swaps. Okay, while using the first HP bar, the automaton glows with purple energy and has the stats, the regular stats of Hellhound. While using the second HP bar, the automaton glows with blue energy, and instead of doing fire damage and having fire immunity, the automaton does lightning damage and has lightning immunity. There are 2 pillars in this room. A blue and a purple one, with many conduits feeding to them. A PC that investigates the pillars determines that they can use a charged crystals matching the color of the conduit to send out a surge along the conduit, damaging any creature, including automaton, that is too close to them. A purple conduit explodes, doing 25 fire damage, and a blue conduit is racked in lightning, doing 25 lightning damage. After a conduit is used, it is destroyed. Maybe instead of 25, I should say like 6d8. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It should be 27 then in that case. There is a blue keyhole and a purple keyhole here to that secure a locked vault. The keyholes can't. The boss will aggressively defend against anyone trying to open this vault. Okay. I said that I would like for this boss to have minions, and you know what is a good minion to go with a Hellhound? I hope it's a death dog because I clicked on it, but I don't actually know. I mean, this is the right CR, so we can sit on that. Before I proceed, I need to include a link to the hunting the Hellhound. It's just the right thing to do. Okay. Death Dog. Is there any other, like, Blink Dog? I don't feel like Blink Dog is better than Death Dog. There are also 2 to 4 Death Dogs. 2 to 4 small automatons. With the stats of a Death Dog. What? What does this mean? What? Hold on. What does the Death Dog do? First failure. The target has the poison condition. While poisoned, the target's hit point maximum doesn't return to normal when finishing a long rest, and it repeats the save every 24 hours. Oh, subsequent failures. The poison target's hit point maximum decreases by 5. That's complicated and annoying. Let me look at the Blink Dog. Or Bloodhawk. Let me look at Bloodhawks. Why is Bloodhawk not here? Dang it. All right. I like this. This is fine, but that's the wrong CR. Maybe it's fine though. We'll just say 4 to 8 Blink Dogs. Bloodhawk. Could Bloodhawk be better? No. We're going to go with Blink Dog. Okay. So we've got 4 to 8 Blink Dog. 4 to 8 of a Blink Dog. They share the same energy as the boss automaton. They glow blue if the boss is blue, etc. And they share immunities. Of the boss automaton. So these dogs, they're immune to fire if the boss is purple. And they're immune to lightning if the boss is blue. That's it. That's the fight. Is that interesting? It has to be, because that's it. I'm done. Box text must include the boss automaton, the little automatons, the vault. Cool. Room 6, the aftermath, the vault. This room contains a multitude. The party is victorious. I don't know, they can have like, there's like 60 plus 2 swords here. No, I can be less lazy than that. All right. This vault contains a treasure trove of weapons from an ancient. So from the ancient. Did I call it an ancient? A lost magic civilization, from the lost civilization. Sir, this vault serves as an army and contains a treasure of weapons from the lost civilization. There are 60 glass longswords here that are as sharp, as sturdy, and sharp as steel. They function as +2 longswords that can also be used as a spellcasting. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember now. I remember there was going to be one of these in the gelatinous cube, but it was uncharged. So I should write down my thought before I say it so that I'm not confusing people. The idea is that these are swords for a magic civilization. Magic, notoriously used by wizards. So these are weapons meant for wizards, not fighters. They can be used as +2 longswords, but they're really wands. They're glass wands, and they can innately cast a lightning bolt once a day. And the party was supposed to find one of these in the gelatinous cube, but it was uncharged. And I think I had some thoughts about, like, well, if you put the blue crystal into the sword, does that shoot a lightning bolt? Like, it should. But I didn't cook that thought very hard. So I won't do that now, but I did say it, so I need to write it down. Additionally, these long swords are charged. Each one can be used to cast a lightning bolt spell once per day. Except the range is 40 feet and the damage is, I think it's 46. The spell deals 46 lightning damage instead of its usual amount. Yeah. And then the party has to decide what to do with these swords. Do they return them? Do they keep them? Do they bury this vault and speak of it to no one? That's a problem for... That's not a... For a one-shot. Oh, that's a problem for a future session. Party is victorious and gets full rewards for opening this vault. Cool. I don't think we need box text for this. This is just, it's just what it is. So glass sword that functions as a +2 longsword and arcane focus spellcasting, similar to the ones, but unable to shoot a lightning bolt. Is that how you spell similar? Yeah, that's how you spell similar. Cool. Yeah, this is the bones of a one shot now, we need to do a lot of writing. And I think some drawing as well. I don't think much of this needs to be drawn, but it would be nice to draw out the conduits. Oh, I need to include that in the box text. The web of conduits. Converging on a pillar. So next step, definitely writing out box text. Yes, I love doing that on stream because it's a very creative process, and the way I do creative process is very much feast and famine. Sometimes I'm feeling it, feeling the flow, and I'm just like, bam, this is a vault. Ancient vault sticks out of the ground like a vault that has been sticking out of the ground for a long time. Clearly, I'm not in a flow state right now. So, what am I trying to say? This piece of antiquity defiantly stands from the wastes. Rocky wastes. Oh no. Okay, so I don't have so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna wait until I get a creative spark, and then I'm just gonna fill out the box text offline. I might do a drawing offline, and then I'm just gonna put a stamp on this and say, take this and make it your own. One shot, 5-room dungeon, the Electrum Vault. A vault from an ancient civilization. What civilization? Is there a civilization in your game an ancient civilization in your game that you can make this? Feel free to make this that vault. And if there's not, that's fine too. It's not actually important who this vault belongs to. Oh, I need to write the stats out for the auto ballistas as well. So I'll do that. I'll add box text. I will add art. I'll add stats for this. I might do like an editing pass, and hopefully have that done like soon. Today, tomorrow, in a couple of days. It's hard to predict when inspiration comes, but it will come. This will be done, and then you can take it and use it. And when it's actually done, I will start sharing it online. But by sharing it online, I mean like passing the link out to places other than this stream. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here. We have a 5-room dungeon. Room 1. Entrance, which is actually not a room. It's the outside, but it's a room. If the outside is not a room, then this actually is a 5-room dungeon because I'm counting the vault as a room in that case. But 5-scene dungeon, 5-room dungeon. First room, the outside. When you open the door, Gelatinous Cube attacks you. Room 2. Nothing in this room, but there's a lock that is broken, and the party needs to fix it. And it's not complicated to fix, but the party needs to demonstrate that they know how to fix a lock. There's gears missing, and there's a gear in the middle of a booth. Put the gear back. Or figure something else out. Room 3, a couple auto ballistas. They are a fire ballista and a lightning ballista, and they regenerate. So the party either needs to work fast or disable them, which is not a complicated affair, but it's something that you need to know can happen. So, it'll probably get to regenerate at least one time. Probably. And we'll also introduce the thing that lets you recharge your crystals as much as you want. Room 4. Well, that's just the same as room 2, but this time we've added conduits that the party needs to repair. And then room 5, the boss fight. A mechanical hellhound that swaps between fire and lightning mode, and its little companion buddies that also swap between fire and lightning mode. And there's conduits in this room that you can overcharge to do a lot of damage to a boss or maybe your friend, depending on how good you are at picking the right conduit. And then the vault. And there's a lot of +2 longswords. Is that way too many rewards? Yes, it is. But they don't belong to the party. They belong to the people who hired the party. So how the party deals with that is something to not worry about if this is a one-shot. And if this is something where there's going to be a next session, worry about that next session. All right. I stop here. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good time. Have fun games out there, y'all. See you all later.